Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So another RINO bites the dust, voluntarily retires and bows out of Congress. Chris Jacobs, who has been awful. I mentioned him in one of the RINO Roundup videos, and he rage quit because the Republican Party apparently doesn't want to ban AR-15s. And that's why he rage quit, which is hilarious. The RINOs are falling, which is the good news. And real conservatives are pushing back. We're going to talk about several instances of this over the past couple of days in this video. Ron DeSantis being a total Chad down in Florida, and me, among several other people, yesterday pushing back on one of the most disgraceful things ever that took place in downtown Dallas. So we are going to dive into it in this video. But first, I have to tell you guys about my friends over at Noble Gold. So with inflation at 8.5% and maybe higher, do you think that you need to be smarter with your money because you need it to grow, not shrink? You need financial freedom, not debt. Start a gold IRA with Noble Gold now and you'll be safe. And this month, for every cash deal above $20K, you'll get an incredible 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin completely free as a thank you. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold. Call 877-646-5347 now to find out more, or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. So Chris Jacobs goes down. The RINO from upstate New York bows out completely. And this guy had an awful track record in the New York State House. He's been weak so far in terms of his tenure in Congress. So Republicans are going to get an insta flip or an upgrade, you could say, alone by this. And there was a great candidate that was running for his seat called Andrew McCarthy. He's based, yesterday he literally tweeted out John Doyle nationalism. So he operates on our side of the internet, which is a very good thing. And it shows that we could potentially have power because we have people on our side of the internet that are rising up the ranks. Although sadly, this guy had to bow out of his congressional run because he is a member of the military and he was needed. However, Carl Palladino, he's a legend and he'll be running for this seat. And I think that he's going to win the primary, and I think he's going to win the general election fairly easily. But you have Chris Jacobs, what a weakling, going out there and saying that Republicans need to embrace a federal assault weapons ban and limits on high-capacity magazines. Like, gun owners are a large constituency of the Republican Party. This is like the worst thing you could do politically. You are going to see turnout dip significantly in any election if Republicans are going to embrace these draconian gun control measures. Like, there's a lot of people, like the only constituency that I know that unironically voted for Trump in 2016 and maybe didn't vote for him in 2020, like we're just like a few people out there who happen to not exactly like the fact that he banned bump stocks or something like that, which I believe was wrong for Trump to do, obviously, but I don't think it would be worth withholding a vote from him. But I've seen enough talk to a lot of people that actually have because of that fact alone. Like, the gun issue is one of those issues where Republicans, like, they win on it. They really do. Like, you'll see polls that the left will put out talking about gun control, but the people that care about the gun issue are gun owners, and they vote on this issue alone. And Chris Jacobs knows it. He's a part of the establishment. Now he has to bow out, mainly because of the fact that he's not going to win a primary now, because a lot of Republicans own guns. Millions of Americans do. A majority of those, a significant majority of those, end up voting Republican. That is the way that it is. It is true. And the people that care the most about this issue overwhelmingly come out for Republicans. One of the reasons why 2018 was not 2006 for Republicans was because Democrats played the gun control card, and that definitely increased Republican turnout. And this time, Democrats think that playing that card is going to like stop a red wave, and it's not. And it's sad to see these weak establishment Republicans just play into their hands because it's ridiculous, saying it's not in good conscience to sit back and say, I didn't try to do something. Like, do you think banning an AR-15 is really going to stop anything? It's not. Like, literally, the mass shootings, very few of them were actually committed with AR-15s. And even if you ban them, they're just going to commit them with other guns. They're going to use a rubber band and make a bump stock out of a pistol and make that a semi-auto. And then they're going to use that. Like, this does not work. Or they'll get an AR-15 illegally if they want to. But Republicans even are caving on these issues. But thankfully, people in the base are waking up, and that is a good thing. And there's a reason why Chris Jacobs, who came out and basically endorsed full-on gun control, is bowing out of his congressional race because he cannot win now because of it, and you love to see it. People are fed up in the GOP base. I'd like them to be more fed up But either way, when you have people caving on the most basic issues, they're going to be dead on arrival. And you love to see it. Meanwhile, Chad in Florida, Ron DeSantis, he's going out there and he's fighting woke capitalism the right way. He's using power. He has power. He is governor, and he is using the power that he has to actually make change. And you absolutely love to see it. He vetoed $35 million to go to the Tampa Bay Rays over a tweet of theirs endorsing gun control. This is the Republican Party. You have the old guard that will cave on everything, even the issues where Republicans have notably been good on, like abortion and gun control. Still, some people are going to cave. Caving knows no bounds. They will do anything to be liked by the opposition because they are weak. They have no convictions. They just want to show up at the dinner parties and be that token Republican on CNN that will bash Trump and get praise. And, oh, it's CNN's fair because they have a Republican on, even though it's a never Trump Republican, right? We understand how this works. But DeSantis, on the other hand, just doesn't care. He gives no Fs. He goes out there and he vetoes a bunch of money that was supposed to go to the Tampa Bay Rays because they went woke. And this is how you combat woke capitalism, with power that you can use. Enough of this free market nonsense. Even so, the free market stuff, it's not even the free market if the government is going to be giving money to these corporations. If anything, withholding the money in a way would ensure a freer market, and it would reduce woke capitalism and corporatism at the same time, which you absolutely do love to see DeSantis go out here and do this. He did the same thing with Disney. He stood up to Disney, finally, and now he is going out there and he is vetoing money to go to the Rays because the Rays basically said, oh, we need to go out here and we need to support some form of gun control. That's basically what this tweet was saying, and DeSantis wasn't having it. And a lot of conservatives need to understand this. And they need to not be afraid to use power. Greg Abbott in Texas, he's not the worst governor in the country, but he doesn't know how to use power in the slightest. He doesn't know. And yesterday in Dallas, there was a drag queen story hour type event that took place in a gay bar, in a gay neighborhood, and parents were bringing in their children. And this was one of the most disgusting things you'll ever see. I mean, this was beyond grooming. We like to use the term grooming. I think this is beyond grooming. I don't know what term you would use for this. But the Drag the Kids to Pride. You know how they said we're coming for your children in that one ad that the alphabet community did or whatever a while back? And it was oh, this is satire. No, it's not satire. Even if that video was satire, they are literally coming for your children. Look at this. These are kids that look like they could be in elementary school. And you have drag queens dancing around here, right here in Texas, in a red state of all places. This is happening. And you look at what this sign is saying. That sign says exactly what you think it says. And you have kids around that sign. What do you think itself is? We know what itself is. You have kids that are being introduced to very demonic, disgusting things at the hands of our opposition. This is our opposition. If you want to actually wake people up, you need to show them what goes on, because this actually happens. This is full out demonic. Again, you can't spell Pride Month without demon. There's a space in there, but it's technically true. But besides that point, it's we have weak leadership to the point where this is even happening in our country. Conservatives have won more elections than not since 1960. Yet this stuff is happening. Our culture, we've lost every single institution because of the fact that conservatives have been so unwilling to wield power because they fall for this whole small government thing. And that's the biggest psyop in the world. No, we need effective government. If you cling to this notion of small government and libertarianism, you're going to lose the country. You will, because the left doesn't play by that game. And you are going to lose completely. You're not going to be able to fully deregulate your way out of this. You're just not. That's the way it is. And this notion that we're supposed to be apathetic to the decadence and degeneracy that takes place within our society is why we're losing it. So I had a few tweets to say about this because it was insane. And you had kids that were dancing, or you had these drag queens that were dancing half naked, and you had kids that were giving them money. We were outside protesting. There were several people on the inside that were able to be spies and capture this footage as they should have, but this should not be happening to begin with at all. Especially in Texas. If Greg Abbott was useful, if I was governor of Texas, I would send in any forces that I could and arrest everybody involved. Because this is full-out pedophilia. There's no other way to put it. It is disgusting. It is disgraceful. It is demonic. And you look at this, and I basically said, oh, you'll have people that say, well, that doesn't seem constitutional. That doesn't seem constitutional, but the Constitution, it's like, bro, they're literally grooming children. And you're talking like about what a piece of paper says. Like, care about something for once. And by the way, this is not like anti-Constitution. Technically, the Constitution granting powers to the states is a good thing because it allows states to be able to send in their own forces if they want to. But like, if the people that wrote the Constitution, that wrote the rule of law that you're like clinging to on these, so-called non-existent principles that the opposition has written for you, but if the people that wrote the Constitution, if our founding fathers saw what was going on today, they would not have declared independence from Britain at all. They wouldn't have cared. They wouldn't have anything to fight for. I mean, it's insane. The amount of like this sheer smugness from the do nothing right when it comes to this stuff is through the roof. And this is still a very present, like, force in the Republican Party, a present wing. So many people that are just turning a blind eye to this. I mean, we had people beforehand when we were, planning on going and protesting. I was on a phone with a friend, and he was talking to some guy that he was with, I think, like in an elevator or something about what he was doing. And he was at a conservative event, and that guy was like, oh, no, don't do that. You're just as bad as the left. And it's like, no, the left is grooming children. What are you talking about? You're just as bad as the left? Really? Pushing back on pedophilia is worse than pedophilia? Like, this is how much they have warped the minds of so many conservatives in our country today. It's absolutely disgusting. And we have a lot of work to do, but I was very happy to see so many people. We probably had 50 people. We outnumbered them in downtown Dallas. We went out there and we protested effectively. We did. The cops, I believe they went in eventually and stopped something, or at least escorted the children out. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I heard about the situation. But the fact that this is taking place at all shows how far we've fallen. And this is the slippery slope. You have conservatives that go out there and say, oh, gay marriage doesn't affect me. Oh, drag queen story hour doesn't affect me. And it's like, the fact is, it is a slippery slope. It is not a fallacy. This is a real problem. And this is exactly what it leads to. And everybody that you said, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory, that's just a fallacy, it doesn't happen. No, it's happening right now in our big cities, and probably eventually is going to come to the suburbs and small towns eventually too. So you could drop the smug look on your face and actually, get to work and actually want to save this country, because that is what it's going to require. It's going to require true, strong leadership and not weakness. And furthermore, in terms of what we need, what leadership we need, last tweet here, I said we need a right-wing version of Huey Long governing every red or swing state, which is true. And I like DeSantis. I think DeSantis is close, but I think he's the beginning of something great. And I think that we need to channel, like a lot of people are out there saying DeSantis 2024, which again, we'll talk about that in a future video. I'm going to probably do one this month on why I still prefer Trump, but channel that energy in trying to actually get more effective governors, less Greg Abbotts, less Mike DeWines, less Brad Littles, more DeSantises, or supercharged DeSantises, as I like to say. Like, we could do more than this. And we need strong leadership. I mean, they're going to say, oh, it's authoritarianism, but they're the ones that are actually out here being authoritarian and coming for your children, so who cares what they say? We need people that are willing, I said unwilling, but that was a mistake, willing to circumvent the processes of checks and balances when necessary, because this is one of the times when I believe it would be necessary. And like I said, supercharged DeSantisism is desperately needed. What I witnessed was a disgrace. You had people, parents that are carrying out children in carriages, like babies, infants. Like, these people are demonic. These people are deranged. They're sick. Everybody should be arrested. They should have their kids taken away from them by CPS, although, I mean, CPS is CPS. But like, in a perfect world, if you had a solid CPS, yeah, they should have their kids taken away from them. This was an absolute mess. This is your country now. This is where we live. This is happening down the street. It's sad, but it's true. Even in red states, it's happening. And these people are insane. They need to be put away for a long time. And it's just a mess. But the parents, I think, are arguably just as, if not more, as to blame for this kind of thing than the bars themselves that are having this. Because the people that would take their kids to one of these things, how deranged do you have to be? Your kids are giving money to virtually drag queen strippers. This is happening in red states. So like I said, we got to change the culture. We got to wield power to do it. A lot of people are afraid of the word power. It's a scary word, we understand. But either way, as blackpilling as it may be, you have people that are willing to push back on these people, myself included, and many other people. and people are waking up, and you love to see it. Be confrontational. Maxine Waters, what did she say? Confront them at every turn. She's right. For the wrong reasons, but she's right. We have to confront them at every turn. Non-violently, of course. But we have to get in their face because they've been getting in our faces for way too long, and it's about time we flip the script, and that's the way that we're going to save this country. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle out.